good morning, bonjour, buonasera. Welcome to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited and grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. As always, we'll get started with a question and whatever activity you engage in to explore your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, please feel free to do. So today's first question is, what is this person trying to teach me? What is this person trying to teach me? So I have two people on my wise council that they both listen to this podcast, so I probably should be I should be really careful how I say this. These two wonderful, extraordinary women that I am blessed to know are what's known as, you know what? They are passionate about talking. Let's put it like that. They're passionate about talking, and they're passionate about sharing their stories. The only issue with that is if we have an hour-long conversation, I am listening for the full hour. And I know this has come up on the podcast before, and if you haven't listened to the podcast about reciprocal conversations, I definitely challenge you to do that. But it's interesting because I've talked about this before, and this is probably something that you might be actually exploring for yourself, how to protect your energy, moment to moment throughout the day. For me, I really enjoy listening to people. I naturally ask questions, hence this podcast. But ever since I was little, people would come up to me and just start telling their story. And I would listen and ask questions and provide whatever insight or wisdom that came from my heart. So I am that person, and I do enjoy that role and that identity. But it is very, very challenging, and it does take a lot of energy to sit and listen to someone talk and talk and talk and talk for sometimes over an hour. And recently on one of the calls that we had, I said, you know what is this person trying to teach me? Because I feel like every time I look at a situation as a lesson, each scenario, just literally whatever is going on throughout the day, if I look at it as a lesson, I'm one, more engaged, and two, it doesn't feel as much of an energy suck. And so in those situations for myself, I really think, that person is really trying to teach me about the value of listening, and really understanding that is my place in the world, and that is something that not everyone gets, and to be grateful, that I actually do have the ability to listen with the goal of understanding and give my full undivided attention. I think also, I think they're also trying to teach me patience, and putting myself in, the foreground. Is it the foreground or background? See, look at me. I better come up with an analogy. I know, but putting myself to the side and just taking the time to develop my empathy. Right? I think I'm a very empathetic person, but I do think that those two women really teach me and challenge me on even the things that I think I'm really, naturally good at. So if you don't have, those monologue speakers, or you don't have a friend or family member who, kind of takes over and you have to listen to, if that's not your struggle, think about someone who, I actually challenge you to think about someone who's a little bit more difficult to get along with. And if maybe that's a coworker, maybe that's your boss, maybe that's your neighbor, maybe it's, a family member, but someone who just kind of rubs you the wrong way, taking the time to really explore, what is this person trying to teach me? Because I really do feel when we reframe those types of situations, there are just so many insights that really can come from that. So, those are the questions I had on my heart today. Really hope this was helpful for you. As always, please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to my words. And if this was helpful for you, please share it, because if it was helpful for you, it's probably going to be helpful to someone else. And until next time, take care.